All right, the second half of the platform frame is done, and there were a few design decisions I'll show you about in a moment, but for right now, this is the size of the boat. It comes all the way. I'm standing at one corner now. I still have the western red cedar stacked on the other half, and some other sheets of plywood over there as well. The two halves are not actually joined together yet, but the design decisions that I made is I decided to double up on the wheels. You can see here on the other side I just put one wheel, and I also used this metal bracket in 6 places where I had the wheels originally. I used these metal brackets, so I've got those in 3 places in the front, and then back here 3 places in the back. And I also, besides doubling up the two wheels, so I doubled up all 3 wheels in the front edge, and back here I doubled up just 2 of the wheels. Instead of doubling up this wheel, I decided to put a wheel in the middle this time. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to show you before I put the plywood on, and you can see the design changes that went into this one. Before I hook these two together, I will get all the wood off of that one, the first platform, and I'm going to flip it over and add the extra swivel casters and the metal brackets to that side as well. Okay, here's an update on joining the 2 halves of the build platform together. The first thing I did after unloading all the plywood and lumber from that half of the build platform over there was I took one of the sheets of plywood and I put it in the space here in between the 2 halves, lined everything up, drilled and screwed in the 4 corners, and once that was in, I was able to put in this temporary piece of wood like this. On the other side is the same, and screw that in and clamp it in. And then I unscrewed the 4 corners of the plywood, took the plywood off, moved it over there, and then I started putting in the support rails inside where the plywood will sit. And this also has the effect of being a more permanent support for the 2 halves. This is not the full 10-foot beam that's going down the side, and I might actually skip that because, well, I'm running out of room on the sides of this build platform. I don't have much room there, and over here I don't have much room either. So if this turns out to be enough support, I might just put extra support on each of these 3 sets of 2x4s here in the middle and on the edges, and then screw the plywood back on, and that should be complete then. Alright, so I wanted to record this to show, I think this is the benefit of doing all of the planing and straightening of the wood before we started. This is the center set of 2x4s that joined the 2 halves of the build platform together, and there are no supports yet. These are loose right now. They're not connected yet, but the alignment is almost exact. I mean, it's flush here on the sides, and it's flush here on the top, and so even without any supports to bring it into place, it's very much aligned. Now, it wasn't this way initially. I had to align for instance, the 2 on the outer side there and the 2 on the other side. But once those were aligned, you can see how this all came into alignment. All right, the platform, the boat building platform, is now done. On this end I have some of the Meranti marine plywood stacked up here because I don't have any more room on my lumber cart, but the platform extends all the way to the garage doors. That's 5 sheets of 4-foot by 8-foot plywood. It's a 1/2-inch plywood, and so 20-foot total and 8-foot wide. So now the actual boat building can begin.